Akademiks can't ride no wave.
So I'll kind of throw it out for y'all to kind of ask whatever you want in terms of me starting or me doing whatever. You guys can let me know. Somebody said turn on that rat rap. Who y'all think is ratting? Who ratting, chat? Who do y'all believe is telling? Lil Baby finna get a CDL? We'll talk about it too. Dre, what up with you? Your boy Drizzy was popping. Wavy on the moon. Oh, it's movie time.
Oh, it's movie time.
Yo, y'all ain't send me the drops. I need the whoop-dee-doo. I need that drop, and I need the man, watch out. I need both of those. Man, watch out. Justin Carper, you watching me on vacation, my boy? You want me to do the thug track? Lil Baby ain't going through nothing. That nigga just he like one of them girlfriends you cheated on 3,000 times, and at one time she got to act like she's staying on business. She be right back. You cheat on her 3,000 times, she ain't leave. But this one time, like, she walked in the room and your dick is in the pussy, so she got to stand on business for a little bit, so she not finna respond for a little bit. She playing the silent treatment. She be back. Who the fuck is gonna wear those skin tight, what is it? Chrome heart jeggings if Lil Baby don't come back. So I definitely believe that Lil Baby is going. He ain't going nowhere, man. When a rapper say they retired, cap. That nigga just falling back because he don't want to talk about Thug. I'm telling you, they trying to brush this shit out under the rug. All right, let me start. Let me get in some shit. I bet. Welcome, people. All right. First topic. I'm gonna go through this again. Damn, how many times I'm gonna have to explain this? Okay. I got a few waste man people who I don't know if they're trying to make a name, but people like you're not being accurate about the situation. Always to the best of my ability, I'm always being accurate. I think you guys, it's the reason why we rock the way we rock, why we got biggest audience. Bro, we do a pretty good job. Not to toot our horns, we do. This YNW Bortlen situation is now become a thing, and this is what I really think the state of like the judicial system, especially when it comes to urban culture, is that these lawyers and also these prosecutors know what exactly is ostracized, and they know what prevents people from cooperating is a label. Labeling someone as a rat, a snitch. It prevents the legal system from working as it should. I want to let all y'all know, cooperation, snitching is part of the streets. It's a funny thing to say when you find out somebody cooperated, you're like, streets is done. But no, it means the streets are alive and well. There's always a few dummies that don't tell. There's always a lot of people that do tell, and that's part of the process, okay? If you do crime with other people, you should expect that maybe the person you did it with might cooperate. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of, and I hate to name drop. I actually don't even like bringing up his name just because I don't want y'all to think nothing adverse of him. Me and Savage been going back and forth recently. And we talk. Y'all know that's my man's. But I've been, today I told him, I said, listen, yo, I'll actually give it, So me and Savage got a bet. We got two bets, right? So the first bet is this. He's the one who called me on stream. The first bet is this. The bet is, I think he knows Bortlen or something like that. I think he's talked to him. He says he bets that Bortlen will not cooperate, right? And what this plea is that he took is not a cooperation deal. That's the first bet. Now, my stance on that is it is a cooperation deal, okay? Here's why I think it's a cooperation deal. And I told him this today. It's varying levels of cooperation. And this is why snitching is such like this weird thing to even explain. It's easy to say 6ix9ine snitched. He got up there and he pointed out Shotty. That's the guy who did the crime. But then there's a million other ways to still cooperate. we've heard that Big Meat supposedly, allegedly, third party cooperated. What does that mean? It means that he used pretty much a surrogate, or used a girl that he was dealing with to give up information to help the police solve a crime and get an arrest. What did that do? They basically gave him some post-conviction relief. Still telling. The thing is, and I even said this after too. I said I don't revel in the fact that Thug is going through stuff, but I do like the fact that the streets have to come to a final, solid conclusion. What is snitching? Because snitching could mean a lot of things. Or could we forgive certain type of snitching? Because if like again, 6ix9ine is the most extreme example. If 6ix9ine gets up on a stand and he points people out, nobody's gonna sit here with the actual brain to say he didn't tell. However, there's other ways to tell. If you're in an interrogation room, he said, nah, the guy who hopped out the car with the gun, he had on a blue shirt, he had a pink shorts, and he had some Jordans on. That's telling. You might not get called to the stand. Now, I've seen so many different variations of what street dudes keep saying is telling. And this is why I keep, I don't care who's telling or not. I would like the whole thing to be thrown out. But I'm going to hold every street nigga to this unrealistic and also gray area thing. I'm a math guy. Y'all know I went to school for math. And I said it to Savage today. I said, listen, I'm a 1 or 0 type of guy. 1 + 1 isn't kinda, maybe 2. It's 2. Let's make it black and white. Let's cut the gray area. Here's the gray area, I believe, in most situations, especially even if you have a good lawyer. They know it's without a doubt you're telling when you get up there and you're testifying as a state's witness. You're going to have to point people out. You're telling. But what about the people who said something in the interrogation room? Is that kind of telling? Remember, I'm a 1 or 0 guy. Is that kind of telling? Now, people move the goalposts all the time. Well, he ain't really tell because he never went to court. He didn't get on the stand. Okay, well, a lot of people didn't get on the stand. Gunner didn't get on the stand. Is he not cooperating? So we're back at this stage where, like, nobody really wants to define telling because they realize their own hypocrisies will be violated. So everyone claims that they have these standards of telling, but they don't want to impose them. So what's telling? And that's my thing when it even comes to YNW Bortlen. What is telling? Is telling pleading out and essentially hurting someone else's case? Or do you have to sit up there and point the guy out? Because if what Bortlen is doing is not considered telling, why did Gunna get called a rat? Gunna didn't take the stand. Gunna took a plea that would hurt YSL. Abso-fucking-lutely. But if you don't think that's the same, and that's why I keep calling it a Gunna plea, if you don't think it's the same with, and I'm only talking about you're a co-defendant, you take a plea that admits things that the prosecutor also alleged or trying to allege versus your co-defendant. If that's not telling, it can't be telling for Gunna or Bortlen. Here's the thing. I got no horse in the race with none of these people. I like Melly. I hope he didn't do that crime. I hope he comes back home. I told you, Melly sang a whole album for me on the phone. Melly's a really nice guy from what I know. I don't know him as a killer. I would like him to be free because I don't think he's capable of that, and I hope he didn't do it. So I got no horse in the race. But I like to call out the hypocrisy of everybody in the streets. So this is why I call shit the Gunna plea. The Gunna plea is basically taking a plea where you're not going to supposedly get on the stand, but you basically confirm the details that your man did it. That's a Gunna plea, in my opinion, right? They're fighting a RICO. They need to prove it's a gang. They need to prove that 2 or more members willingly conspired to commit 2 or more crimes. Gunna, in his plea, while he didn't point at anyone, why he didn't say any names, he confirmed as such. Again, the streets are in shambles because everybody makes an exception for their man. Okay? Even the Thug thing. Okay, well, you shouldn't be telling police anything at all. But for Thug is allowed to spin the cops and flirt. Which is it? Could y'all just tell me one definition? I'm a math guy. 1 or 0. 1 + 1 isn't kind of 2. It's 2. Just tell me what the rules are. And I would apply it. Again, it's not that I care, but when we're talking about these people, we'll know black and white what it is. Is telling. So if you told the cops something, so you tell me the standard. Are you not allowed to talk to the cops? Or are you allowed to talk to the cops as long as you're flirting with them, offering your number to them, and also essentially trying to spin them? What is it? Well, then I hear, well, it's not telling if no one got arrested. Well, let's look at Thug. Pee Wee Roscoe later got locked up for drugs. And I believe in the interrogation video, Thug said, man, me and Roscoe used to serve some guys. Is that telling? I don't know. You tell me. 1 + 1 is 2, not kind of 2. Just tell me what it is. That's where we're at. We're still at the picking and choosing of every single person. Now, in the case of YNW Bortlen, I wouldn't make this a big thing. I really don't care to make it a big thing. But the reason why I'm calling it gunner plea, and I'm telling you ahead of time, is because the stars have lined up that his case will hurt Melly. I don't care what nobody says. I'm going to lay out some of the facts, and then we're going to play some of these videos. Because per these lawyers, and I seen Bortlen's lawyer came out, and of course, which attorney have you ever heard come out to say, no, my client did cooperate, or my client will cooperate, or my client's a rat? You're never. That's why you pay your lawyer. However, here's the thing too, because I'm not saying plea deals means you're snitching, but you also have to understand the overall picture. And by the way, here's the thing too. How many times have we seen lawyers come back and say, or a rapper or whoever say their lawyers didn't tell them the truth? Nigga, you know what it was. That's what Gunna said. Oh, I got tricked. You paid millions of dollars for an attorney to come back and say you got tricked. Come on. Again, 1 + 1 is 2. Don't tell me it's kind of 2. All right. So let me go over a few things with this Bortlen case. And I'm going to ask y'all questions, because people seem to believe that the prosecutors are getting a salary and the DA that's elected in certain counties and municipalities, they're just sitting back and they are just giving out deals because they like giving out deals. I don't think that's how the criminal justice system works. They're usually giving out deals because, yes, they're trying to get a conviction, but they're also trying to further whatever their agenda is to supposedly stop crime. Okay. So for the people who are in complete belief that Bortlen, his plea is just, no, who gives a fuck? Why didn't he wait until Melly got tried? Why not? Why not? Why take the plea before Melly's trial? If we believe that his plea could never help Melly, why take the plea before the Melly trial started? Okay. Now, there's a lot of talk. Oh, well, he's going to be talking about the tampering stuff, not the murder. I'll bring another thing into perspective. There's something called circumstantial evidence. I'm going to use my favorite artist of all time as an example. My favorite artist of all time, everybody should know, is a guy named Vybz Kartel. He was actually sentenced to life in prison previously for homicide. He was released after an appellate court deemed that the case should have not went on or should have not been decided on because the jury, there was bribery going on. That's what happened. It went to the UK Privy Council, and then that conviction was disbarred, and then the Jamaican government says, we're not going to do this again, because it was the biggest trial ever in history. So they weren't going to go through that again, rip the country apart for 6 months to a year. Now, why do I bring this up? Because this has a striking resemblance to Melly's case. In Melly's case, they don't have a body. In Vybz Kartel case, my bad. In Vybz Kartel case, they didn't have a body. Okay? Which means they're prosecuting someone for murder. They can't provide the person who died. There's no gravesite. There's no corpse. There's not a skeleton. There's nothing. The guy just disappeared and vanished off the earth. Yet, they did initially gain a conviction. How does it relate to Melly? Well, there's nothing that's dead to rights that links Melly to this case. Okay? They have things that suggest, that point to him being the killer, but there hasn't been one person that told the cops, oh, I seen him kill him. There's not one video, no surveillance, they don't have a murder weapon, and the two that died can't talk. And the ones that's alive, he ain't say really nothing either so far. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, the only way for them to get this as a conviction is going to be something called you're going to try to convict this person off circumstantial evidence. Now, the reason why I brought Vybz Kartel is that he went to jail and was sentenced 35 to life because of what's called circumstantial evidence. Now, circumstantial evidence, if you guys don't know what that is basically providing again, there's no dead to rights. There's no murder weapon, no eyewitnesses directly. They basically use evidence and paint it in a way where it was impossible that he wasn't the guy who did the crime. Okay? Hey, if you're the only person at the crime scene, somebody's neck is chopped off, you have a fucking, or maybe you got caught 5 minutes from the crime scene, you got a knife that's bloody. Again, there's no dead to rights shit, but circumstantial evidence, if you got the machete in your hand, there's the guy blood on the machete, you add up a bunch of stuff and you present it to a jury, and if the jury says there's no possible way this guy couldn't do the crime, they're most likely going to vote you guilty. So that's the case with Melly. No eyewitnesses, no incriminating oh, I did it, no videotape, no audio, no confession over the jail phone. They're trying to get him with circumstantial evidence. Now, the first time they did this trial, it was actually a mistrial. Allegedly, it was one juror, but some people say it's two. They held out and they said, no matter what, we ain't voting guilty. The judge actually accepted the non-unanimous decision and said, we're going to do a hung jury. It allowed for the state to refile the charges, and with refiling the charges meant he's going to do a new trial. So why did I go through all that? This is what anybody with a brain could say, and this is why I keep saying what Bortlen is doing is a gonna plea. Bortlen is going to have to do a proffer, and also he's pled no contest, but he got adjudicated guilty on accessory for murder after the fact. Okay? Now, this is where I come back to. I started my soliloquy. For me, 1 + 1 is 2. It's not kind of 2. It's not like, maybe. No, it's 2. So tell me what it is. Tell me what it's not. If Bortlen, by the nature of his plea, is essentially admitting that he was an accessory to the murder, it would mean that you have some knowledge that a murder was committed. Now, does it mean you could point to the finger who did it? No. However, if you remember the YNW Melly case, there's multiple things that happened. Okay? Not only did the two guys get shot within, it seemingly was about 5 to 10 seconds, and they got killed, executed while supposedly one of them was sleeping. They drove to a location, they hopped out the car, and they staged what they would try to tell the cops, or not they, but Bortlen would try to tell the cops is a drive-by. The cops realized it was bullshit. The same bullet casings were found in the car that they claimed was the gun, whatever ops they had pulled up and shot him with, right? Okay. After that, Melly supposedly goes somewhere. He brings the bodies to the hospital. You're naive to believe that what Bortlen did, and he has a proffer to come up, is essentially not helping the state with the circumstantial evidence that they need. Let me ask y'all a question, and I'm going to keep saying it again. 1 + 1 for me is 2. It ain't kind of 2. If Bortlen gets to that proffer, and yeah, let's say he doesn't say, oh, I saw Melly did it. Well, technically, you wouldn't see Melly do it. He's driving. Melly's right behind him. What, he's like looking over his shoulder on some exorcist shit? No, he didn't see him. Okay, let's say even if he didn't say, well, the shots did get fired in the car, which would basically mean, and again, this is exactly how I believe this is going to go down. He's going to confirm some facts that is going to allow the prosecutors to paint a image to the jury that it's no way that Melly didn't do it. Okay? Now, I see a lot of people, and shit, this was Savage's demeanor too. Yo, he about to get in there and spin them. He about to spin these niggas. That goes to our second part of me and Savage's bet. The second part of our bet is that I believe that his case, in his plea deal, it will say, because the proffer is part of the plea, if called, you will testify to the truthfulness of the proffer you take. Now, I will admit, his proffer, if he lies in his proffer, during the proffer, it won't affect his plea deal. The judge made that clear. So his deal is done. However, remember, all the dismissed charges that he got in exchange for this plea and proffer, those all could be refiled, include murder charges. They could refile them. So again, if you think the jury is just showing up, or not jury, the prosecutor is showing up to just listen to this guy tell some ducktales, you could say whatever you want. But this is why I think it's a gonna plea. I want to play you what his lawyer said and what he said. And I think what his lawyer said is very important. YNW Bortlen, lawyer speaks out. Where is it at? Is it? Okay, where's the lawyer? Y'all doing good? Okay. Where is his lawyer? It's so hard to find things these days. We have his lawyer speaking out, and we have him speaking out. Do I have his lawyer anywhere? Okay. We'll play this. Okay, here we go.
Now I'm a man and I can admit when I'm wrong, and apparently damn near 90% of us were wrong. This is YNW Bortlen's other lawyer, and I tapped in with him to find out about Bortlen's snitching allegations.
81090 Jake. Thanks for giving me the chance to clear up a lot of the confusion and just chaos that's happening online right now. It's clear that a lot of people just don't understand what has happened. In all, he was facing 5 mandatory life sentences if found guilty, plus an additional 75 years on top of that. And the facts of his plea are that he has pled no contest. That's very important because that means he has not admitted guilt. He's not admitted that he's done anything wrong. And he's certainly not admitted or given information about anybody else. He's been found guilty, but in exchange, the state has dismissed the 2 murder counts, the conspiracy.
Now, to be honest, and this is why I keep saying the gunna play, what the lawyer just said is very important. And this is where the no contest comes in, because even though he's adjudicated guilty by the judge, his no contest plea doesn't say he did it. He's not admitting that he did it, right? So that's important. So essentially what this spells out to us is that we're going to expect, or we're going to try to see if Bortlen could walk into the interrogation room and spin, or not interrogation room, sorry, the proffer meeting, and spin the district attorneys out of Broward County. So he's going to talk. But we're hoping his talking is doing what Thug did, doing what Woody supposedly did, lie snitching. Oh, nah, I dropped him over to a bitch house. Melly, he wasn't in the car. That's what we're hoping. But in theory, and this is where, again, I'm also, I'll tell you what I think about his lawyer, or even him saying whatever. I've never heard a lawyer come on and be like, my client's just snitching. No. Your lawyer's job, Gunna's lawyer said, oh, no, this is out for a plea. He not telling. Then you hear another nigga say he told. Everybody's lawyer basically say they don't told. They didn't tell.
To tamper with a witness count and the charge about directing the activities of a criminal gang. He's going to be sentenced to 10 years in Florida State.
Now, even, again, during Melly's trial, and I believe 100% he will be called, And you're going to hear him say, oh, I don't think he'll be called. Nigga, please. If you're doing a murder case, I think one of the parties the jury would like to hear from is the driver who was in the car when allegedly the murder happened. Now, a lot of times these plea deals, and even in Gunna's case with the Alfred deal, where it's like that plea can't be used. Yeah, it can't be used against you, the person who's pleading, but it could definitely be used against somebody else. That's why I keep saying, if this nigga is so solid and ain't finna kinda tell, why even take a proffer at all? Why even do a deal before Melly goes to trial? That's my only thing. Why do the deal before Melly goes to trial? If the prosecutors done guaranteed y'all, oh, this won't get used. All right, well, if it won't get used, we'll do the plea afterwards. You're still in jail. Why do the plea now? It's clear to anybody with a brain that it's because the prosecutors believe that doing this deal and getting this proffer will help them prosecute Melly. So now, is that telling? Or not really? It's like kind of, but it depends on how he spins them. Okay, this is why we can never agree on snitching. Because Young Thug, in his opinion, he spun the cops. He said, I only said we deal drugs every day, that they stopped looking at Woody. I try to keep my niggas out of jail. That's what he said. Whoop-dee-doo, right? Okay.
Prison followed by 6 years of probation with credit for time that he has served. And he's required as a part of that to sit down and give what's called a proffer. Typically, when you hear the word proffer, especially in a criminal case, it's when a witness offers information or will explain what they would testify to if called at trial or a hearing.
Very important. By the way, I've heard his lawyer is a decent lawyer. That already should say, if they're taking a proffer from you, it should, by the lawyer's own admission, you should expect them to try to use what you say in a proffer in a criminal proceeding, possibly where you might have to testify. So this notion, and I've never seen on the paperwork, you are not required to testify. Bitch, where? When have we ever seen any plea deal where they just confirm that you will never have to testify? But that's the thing people are doing to try to hype the public up to say, oh, this can't be telling because he's not taking a stand. And this is where the gray area comes in, because maybe the telling was in the proffer. Maybe the telling was in the plea. But y'all have to let me know, is the only way you told is if you did the 6-9, which is get up on a stand and point fingers.
It's unfortunate that we use that word today in court because that's not what's going to happen in this case. Bortlen is not going to sit down and give a lengthy proffer or answer questions about what he would testify to if he were called as a witness, because we don't anticipate.
You just defined that's a proffer. And then you say he's not going to do it?
Anticipate him being called as a witness at any trial or any hearing.
We don't anticipate him being called at a trial or any hearing. Now, that don't seem like a man who's speaking like he's sure. This is a lawyer. We don't anticipate. Well, I'll give you one better, chat. Because I like to put these things on the table, because you got to realize these are paid attorneys, my nigga. They're not Jesus. And yes, they're very much more knowledgeable about the law than you or I. But they know who their client is. And these days, that snitch jacket is very heavy to wear. Right? It was ironic because I was watching this today. Shout out to Vlad. You know, Vlad always gonna get the scraps after the shit blows up. Here we go. Okay, is that where is it? Okay.
I think he just maybe wanted to just get it over with. I guess that's what I would think.
Pee-wee?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's important is that, remember DK? This guy's DK from the YSL trial. He was the first one to take the plea. I just want to show you the games the prosecutors play. Here we go.
Way before Stoner or anytime.
With everything.
Yep. First song I was singing.
Here we go.
Of course.
That's my stuff.
Right.
You around during this time?
I will make my wife sign me out the hospital. We get the discharge paper, sign me out.
Know anything?
Yeah.
But then it came true.
When I was small, I went and did that.
Hold on, give me a second.
When how to mind your business, how to see but not see. You learn a lot. I'm finna send it to you, send it to me. I ain't gonna cap, like, I hauled ass.
Oh, you took off?
I got this can't be real, like, part of it.
Wow.
How am I part of it? I've been in y'all facility for the last 96 months.
Yeah.
I was in there with them, but
Here we go.
it was crazy, man.
So he said he was staying in the same jail cell that Gunna got moved out of.
Okay. So you're locked up. Gunna does his plea deal.
Here we go.
And he's like one of the first ones to do it?
I was the first one.
Oh, you had the first plea deal?
Yeah.
So once again confirming, DK the first one to do the plea.
Aha. Before Gunna.
Before Gunna.
Okay. Did you have to do the same song and dance that Gunna did?
What you mean?
What they asked him. Is YSL a criminal organization? Have you seen
everybody had to do
members do things in furtherance of the gang and all that? So you had the same questions.
Yeah.
But they just didn't videotape you.
So once again, clearly he's saying, I had to admit all that shit before Gunna. Which, by the way, goes against what Thug is saying. Like, Gunna, the reason why he's mad at Gunna and not everybody else is Gunna did it first. He said, I admitted that YSL was a gang first. I took the plea first.
I think they did.
But they just never released it.
Yeah, I was nobody to them because I've been in prison for 8 years.
Okay.
I don't even think they know who I was.
Okay, so you never had to take the stand or anything else like that?
Now, this is important, right? So essentially, he admits that he took an Alfred plea, just like Gunna. He said he took the same plea, right? He said he had to admit those things in court. YSL's a gang, this and third. Hear what he says that is important and relevant to this Bortlen situation.
Yeah.
You did take the stand?
Yeah.
That was part of the plea deal?
Yeah.
Aha. Okay. So if you took the same plea deal that Gunna took, how do you feel about Gunna taking his plea deal?
I don't feel no kind of way about nobody, man. I'm grown, man. I'm 33 years old, man. I done did it all, man. Literally. When I say did it all, I done did it all, man. I done seen it all. Ain't nothing unseen or unheard of, man.
Okay. So they gave you the plea deal, but part of the plea deal is you have to take the stand.
Yeah.
Because Gunna's plea deal precluded him.
But they tell me, Vlad, we might not even need you. We might not even.
We might not need you. Nah. Even though you're the driver of the 2 corpses to the hospital, even though you were in the car while your friend Melly allegedly murdered the other 2 friends, we don't need you. Just sign on the dotted line. Sound familiar?
Gunna's plea deal precluded him.
But they tell me, Vlad, we might not even need you. We might not even call you. We just have to put this on there. And my lawyers agreeing with this too, So it's like.
Ironic. So his lawyers agreeing with the prosecutors. Oh yeah, they're not gonna call you. You're good. Nah, just sign. Come on, we're gonna get out of the case. Come on, just sign.
So it's like.
Hold on. We don't need you.
I ain't understanding what you asked right there.
You said it was 2 people who don't like each other. Does it always have to be 2?
Really? Okay. Let's just believe the lawyers. Let's just believe the lawyers. Your lawyer said, nah, you don't got to testify. You're good. The prosecutor said, nah, why even call y'all? You're good. Okay. Now, I will admit that we do have to wait and see. But from what I'm seeing, it's building up to, nigga, you're cooperating in one way or the other. Whether you have to essentially say he did it or in a roundabout way confirm details. And this is what I'm saying. Is this snitching? If you confirm details, that basically points the finger at him. Because if everybody says this snitching thing is so fluid, why? The question should be for Bortlen, why take a plea before your man's goes to trial.
Especially not one involving Melly. What I can tell you is that Bortlen is not going to implicate anybody else. He's not going to provide information against anybody else. Melly's name is not even going to come out of his mouth when he's talking to prosecutors in this case. I anticipate the conversation with the prosecutors is going to be very, very brief.
You anticipate. So he anticipates that he won't have to go on the stand, and he anticipates it's going to be a short conversation. Okay. Like, how you doing? What's up? You feeling good? What you want to eat today? How's the kids? All right, cool. That was it. That's all we really needed from this proffer. Yeah, we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to prosecute Melly, but that's all we needed from you, just to find out how your day was. Great. Perfect.
Like, I'm in a pickle. He's telling me, oh, I can't take your case. I can't go to trial. I need this much money to go to trial. I ain't got that kind of money.
How much was he asking?
How much was he asking me for? I think he said 30,000.
30,000?
I don't got no. That's not bad.
Well, I mean, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it.
I don't got it.
Exactly.
I just got out of prison.
Well, was Thug helping out the co-defendants at all, or no? Financially.
Thug never paid for Thicky right there too.
I feel you.
Yeah.
When you saw Woody's interrogation footage, what did you think?
Okay. So essentially, we've heard from two people now. Gunna says they tricked me. His lawyer was hanging his hat on, well, they're not going to call him. Okay. But in the plea deal, it says that if called to testify, and we could look up Gunna's plea deal, if called to testify, you must testify to the truthfulness of what you've admitted in this plea. Yet Gunna fans like, well, he didn't get put on the stand. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this snitching thing is just like really, it's kind of like, it's not black and white, bro. All right.
And it is not going to be what everyone thinks it's going to be online, where he sits down and rats or provides information to cooperate against other people. A lot of people are saying that Bortlen's plea and his proffer are going to hurt Melly in some way and affect his trial in the future. And again, that's absolutely untrue. YNW Bortlen.
Let me give a scenario. If you're pleading guilty to tampering with witnesses, hey, why did you call this girl that happens to be the ex-girlfriend of Melly? Again, to me, that's providing information. If you're talking about, you're providing information if you're given a statement or testifying, or, well, not testifying in this case, given a proffer about a person or something to do with someone else that you might not mention their name directly, but you're basically confirming things that's going to be used to hurt them. Maybe not in a direct way, but to me, indirect or direct, same thing.
Is not going to be a state witness. YNW Bortlen is not going to provide information that's going to impact Melly's trial in any way. YNW Bortlen is not expected to come and provide information against anybody. So to be clear, his plea, his proffer, and anything surrounding it will have absolutely no impact on Melly's trial.
Why do it? Why? Listen, if his cases are resolved, why do you have to do a proffer after the fact? Why? Your cases are resolved. Why does he have to do a proffer? They can't use any of the proffer to help or hurt him. So why do a proffer if it's not? Is it to waste time? Is it a coffee break? Remember, he's going to jail already. Why do a proffer with him if it's not to be used or is not to gather information that would be used against someone else? Now, it's clear. If you're going to do a proffer, you're probably cooperating. I guess the thought here is, and by the way, he sent out a video himself. The thought here is he's planning to go spin the attorneys, the district attorneys. This is the voice note he released from jail, which he's like rapping and kind of like spoken word in his response to all the snitching stuff.
Man, you fuck niggas better stop playing on my top, man. Y'all know it's sport the fucking sport, man. I'm 10 toes down. A nigga hold it down, stay solid, they hate the nigga. Niggas fold, they go troll, they quick, they praise the nigga. I'm a young nigga out the G, just faded for license. What the fuck I look like taking the deal that hurt my niggas? What the fuck I look like giving a fuck about how y'all feel? I'm a young fly nigga, be back to raising hell, prevail. Damn. Why they want a nigga to take that L? Don't you know you can see the dirt for even speaking that L? It's sport the sport, man. A part of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. YNW for L, and this shit can't never be stopped. Silly nigga. You fuck niggas better stop playing on my top like y'all know what the fuck going on, man. Hey, free me here, Melly, bitch boys. Man, you fuck niggas better stop.
Okay. Now, again, we're going to have to wait for the trial to see. However, I don't care what his lawyer says or he's saying. If it is setting up that you're giving information, there's no reason why you needed to do a proffer. It's no reason why it needs to be part of your deal. You could refuse to testify, which would be a contempt charge, and you could get held in contempt for the duration of Melly's trial. Okay, cool. But the proffer is supposed to be a fact-finding or a fact-telling situation. So again, for me, I'm still sticking with it appears he's going to tell. Will he try to flip or spin the cops, as people love to say? I don't know, probably. Still don't make it better for me. And really, again, my thing is 1 + 1 is 2. It ain't kind of 2. If you're sitting with the prosecutors to proffer about how you either tampered with witness or the details of that night, even if it doesn't include the NOLO admissions of accessory after the fact. I'm talking about the accessory after the fact of murder. You're still giving information. You're just a different type of cooperant. You're just not 6'9". You're not going to get up there and say he did it. But you're still giving information. I think that's it. By the way, he has a whole thing too. All the interrogation videos in this is him.
The drive side, which is the left side. Okay. And they had the stop sign. Mm-hmm. And so Bentley don't go around us.
This is DK for YSL, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Straight. Keep straight down Brownsville. Brownsville. And I let the window down. You said Nard let the window down? The window down. And then what? And shot. Show your hands. Use your hands. I let the window down. On the thing, pull the stick out the floor boat. Mm-hmm. Put it on the seal of the window. Shot. Okay. Did he hit the driver's side or the passenger side? The passenger side. He hit the passenger side of the victim's vehicle. The driver.
That's not the only one.
Out to us, and you want to provide some information about this case that you hear on, correct? All right. I want to just once again advise you of your rights, just so you know.
Play
out to us, and you want to provide some information about this case that you hear on, correct? All right. I want to just once again advise you of your rights, just so you know what's going on. You have your attorney here. If you have any questions of him or anything like that, yeah, we can go back over it again. So find a labor counsel.
Okay. So he even has a lawyer in the room and he's still telling. Okay. Point what I'm trying to tell y'all. If a man is taking a proffer after being found guilty, it leads everyone to believe the obvious. They're not doing it to ask him what size shoe he wears. They want to know what happened that fateful night, what happened before, what happened after. No matter what, it's giving the authorities information that they could use at a later time to convict Melly. And they could still call you to the stand despite the lawyer who's being very technical saying, we don't anticipate. Well, y'all didn't anticipate a lot. So when you say you don't anticipate him being called, I think it's wishful thinking. But if the information that's given in that proffer is contested or is seen to be a complete lie, the prosecutors will have no other choice than putting Bortlen on the stand. 100%. Okay? And if you're one of those people who believe spinning the cops is cool, all right, cool. Well, spinning the cops is great.
Mike, can you...
Doorway?
Yes.
What were they doing?
We're just standing there.
At any time prior to giving your statement, did you feel as though you had the ability to get up and leave?
No.
What do you think, in your mind, what was your impression that would have happened to you had you tried to leave?
They're going to let you go?
Prior to you giving your statement to the officers, the detectives, and after you gave the urine sample, did you get brought back to the room? And then at some point, there are two detectives that come in, right? At any time during your interaction with those detectives, did they tell you to agree to leave? So then the first question.
Okay, cross-examination, go ahead. As loud as you can, sir. No, I'm not aware.
You stated you were handcuffed. How long were you handcuffed for?
Most of the time I'm there.
Did you ever discuss with the nurses that you wanted?
So it looked like this was a evidence type of thing where they either were trying to suppress, what is this? Probably it was a hearing about his interrogation with the cops. Anyway, we could get off of that for now. I think that's about it when it comes to this case. So I know I'm beating a dead horse here. If you ask me, Bortlen giving a proffer, it means he's telling. He's not going to come out and say he's telling. There's a million different ways to tell these days. People keep thinking it's 6ix9ine the only way to tell. If you think that's the only type of telling, well, Gunna didn't tell, Boston Richie didn't tell, Young Thug didn't tell, because none of those people got up on the stand and said otherwise. There is very different ways to tell. Proffering, which means giving up information, knowing that the police are about to bring your homie in a capital offense trial, I think that's telling. Like, what the fuck else do they want you there for? They're not bringing you to an interview like, just tell us what you want to tell us so we can tell the family to give them peace of mind. They can't do nothing to you. So they need a proffer from you to use whatever you say. And again, maybe he's good at spinning. Maybe he's a ballerina. I don't know. But they're trying to use that information against Melly. Absolute fact. Okay? And yeah, they might not call him to the stand. But if anything, you know how cases go. Remember, even Diddy had a bunch of people he wanted to bring on the stand. But they realized mid-trial, not needed. The prosecutor had more people they wanted to bring to the stand. The judge kind of admonished them a little bit, but also they admitted not needed. So again, we have to wait and see a bit if he takes a stand or not. However, if he was not going to help the cops with any information, why the fuck is he doing a proffer? We'll see. Dirk case starts next month. I believe Dirk is going to push that back. I think. We'll see, though.